and welcome back to Gav Goes In. Big up to Baz One Diva, big up each and every time. Um, Guys, listen, Michael Carrick, obviously, we're being told that he's going to be given funds to spend in January, and I think it's a positive sign. I mean, obviously, everything's pointing towards Manchester United targeting a left winger. I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be frustrated, saying why are we not going for a central midfielder? But I think the left midfielder is a position that we do need to look at, and this is why I was saying about Jadon Sancho, being a possibility in terms of coming back, at the end of the season. I know a lot of people think that, he's burnt bridges at Manchester United. There's probably an agreement for him to move on. But I think if you look at the shortage of left wingers just in world football right now, I think we wouldn't be, at a miss not bringing back a Jadon Sancho for me. So I think that is something that we should still be looking at. I mean, at this moment in time, it is highly unlikely that Man United do go for, well, or do bring back Jadon Sancho. But as I said, yeah, there isn't really too many names that I can think of, that Manchester United should be targeting. I think obviously, the Anton Semenyo one. I don't ever think that was ever realistic, if I'm honest. I don't think Semenyo was someone that wanted to go to Manchester United. I think Man City, once they entered the race, I think they were always the team that were going to be the team that that was going to take him. I'm trying to think of other players, guys, because there ain't too many left wingers out there. You got players like Antonio Nusa, at Red Bull Leipzig, him and Yan Diamande, both at the same team. And again, do Man United bring in what, two 20-year-olds, and having to rely on them for the future? Or do Man United go for someone that's a bit more experienced? But again, I can't really tell you what players are there that are going to be gettable in this window. So the fact that Ineos, are looking to make funds available for a left winger, I honestly do think that left wing is a position that does need to be looked at. I think we're looking at Matthias Cunha. Matthias Cunha is someone that, yeah, definitely can play there. But it's probably one of them things where does he play more of a 10 when does he play more in a 10 when Bruno finally moves on? Big up to Fitz, big up my guy each and every time. Fitz, let me know what left wingers are out there that are realistic for Manchester United to bring in, because there's only possibly one or two players, and I think a few of them have been mentioned as well, that are, gettable. Well, I say gettable, I think just in general, Big up to United fan as well for coming through. But yeah, let me know what left wingers are there. So I've said Yan Diamande. I think you've got, as I said, Diamande. You've got Antonio Nusa. But again, both of them players are both the wrong side. Well, I say the wrong side, but they're both younger players. So do Man United go in for a left winger that is potential, or do they go for someone that's a bit more ready-made? And this is why, guys, I've mentioned Jadon Sancho. So this is why Jadon Sancho, for me, cannot be, passed up, in my opinion, because there ain't really any left wingers out there. Guys, come on, there's 21 of you and there's 3 likes. Let's make sure we're smashing the like button, and let me know what players, guys, what left wingers are out there. Adeyemi's a right winger, left-footed right winger. But left wingers, there ain't too many players, I'm telling you. There just ain't too many players. So big up to Foxy Danny as well. So yeah, guys, let me know, man, because the very fact that and I knew you would say Keenan Yildiz, I knew you'd say Yildiz, but I just don't think that Man United are in a situation to be getting Keenan Yildiz, in my opinion. I think Keenan Yildiz, in terms of left wingers right now, right-footed left wingers, inverted, he's probably one of the most up and coming players that are talked about. So I don't see that as a possibility, really, getting someone like that. United fan says Minte. Yeah, guys, we're looking at right-footed left wingers, not left-footed right wingers. So, yeah, right-footed left wingers is what Manchester United are going to be looking to target. And as I said, Antonio Nusa and Yan Diamande, they're the only ones I can really think of, if I'm honest. I can't really think of any other players that are going to be affordable, you know. But yeah, I like Yildiz, man. I do like Yildiz, but again, Yildiz is I think Yildiz might cost too much, and I think he's probably unrealistic, you know. But I think what's a positive, yeah, is that the fact that Ineos have come out and said, well, there's talk about Ineos giving Carrick money to spend. And I think that says a lot, to be honest with you. That says a lot that they didn't really believe in Ruben Amorim, and for good reason. You know, the fact that Amorim was linked to players that I just couldn't get on board with, the likes of Conor Gallagher, you know, and the fact that we're hearing now that there was, well, at first we heard there was no money to spend, and now we're hearing that he's going to be given money to spend on a left winger. It shows you that, you know, they, in the end, they just didn't believe in Amorim, and rightfully so. Yeah, Bradley Barcola's another one. I think Barcola probably goes to, I can see Barcola at probably a Liverpool, you know, a team like that. Would I want Barcola at Manchester United? Not really, but I think beggars can't be choosers. And what's out there, there ain't really too many gettable players out there, man, as a left winger. Mamba says we welcome you soon to North London. Yeah, big up, man. Listen, Mamba, if you're still in the chat, I'm gonna be doing a live watch along for the Man United Arsenal game next week, next Saturday. So again, I'm gonna have Fitz come on. I'm gonna have Owen from B2R Sports as well. Obviously, we're Man United fans. So again, if you want to come on the stream for a live watch along and do the game, then yeah, let me know, man, and I can send you over the link. I'd love to see Nusa at United. Yeah, I think Nusa will be a good signing, but I just don't think Man United will go for. I don't know if Man United go for a 20-year-old to play out on that side. Yeah, yes, man. I'll be there in the chat. Big up, bro. Yeah, big up, man. As I said, if you wanna come on the stream itself, then let me know, man, and I'll send you over the link. So yeah, it'll be a good one, man. So I'm looking forward to that game, man. And for me, I don't see United dropping points. I don't see United losing. I think United at worst get a draw, you know. So hopefully we can derail your title bid, if it's a title bid that you think anyway. Martinelli, nah, listen, don't want to go nowhere near Martinelli, man. But yeah, as I said, guys, I think the fact that, you know, he's been given money, you know, I think everything points towards a midfielder that Man United would probably be looking at. But there is a left winger that does need to be signed, you know, if you're not going to bring back Sancho. And guys, let me know if you would bring back Jadon Sancho anyway. Is Jadon Sancho a player that you would like to see come back under a Michael Carrick or a new manager next season? Iliman Ndiaye is a good shout. I'll take Iliman Ndiaye. You know, I know he's playing on the right-hand side at the moment, but he's definitely one that I would take in the summer. But again, he's going to cost a lot of money. If you're thinking of Everton moving into their new stadium, you know, they probably won't want to let go of a key player. So, but yeah, definitely Iliman Ndiaye, man. That's a great shout, man. I think he's a very good player. And obviously his team are now in the AFCON final as well against Morocco. So yeah, man. The next Rooney. Who's the next Rooney? NDI is the next Rooney. Wait, I've never heard that. Asane Diao is another good young option. Big up Fitz. Fitz, I've never heard of him. Who is that? Is he a good player? I've never heard of him. That's quite rare for me, man, because I do know quite a lot of footballers still. But I've never heard of him. So what's he like anyway? What is he actually like? Oh, he's at Como. Okay, under Cesc Fabregas. Okay. I mean, to be honest with you, I rate Cesc Fabregas highly, man. So, you know, if he's doing well under Cesc Fabregas, then yeah, he could be a good option, man. But I just don't know if Man United go for a player that young. I mean, I'm guessing he's probably, what, 19, 20? You know, if Man United looking at Premier League proven, again, there ain't really too many players that are Premier League proven for United to go and get. It just shows you, man, it's a struggle. And this is why we can't be, for me, we cannot be turning up our noses, man, at Jadon Sancho, because that is a player there that plays on that side. And I do believe, you know, under a manager like Carrick, or even under a new manager that could be coming in, the likes of a De Zerbi, you know, a Xavi, someone like that, they would like Sancho. It's just whether Sancho wants to come back and whether the club see him, you know, turning it around at Man United, like, in a sense. So, yeah, let's see. Wanyeri, again, Wanyeri's a 10 or he's a left-footed right winger. So, again, let's stick to the right-footed left wingers. I think if Arteta wins nothing this season, Fabregas takes over at Arsenal. That's a massive shout, you know. I think, yeah, obviously that's not going to happen. I think even when Arteta fails, you know, they're still going to keep him. Like, you can just see what's going on really with Arsenal. You know, they're just too invested in Arteta, and I think ultimately that's going to be their downfall, man. Because, yeah, Julian de Ranville, another one. But again, he's another youngster as well. I haven't seen any links. Abdul Rahman, go and suck your mother. How about that? Yeah, go and suck your mother. Simple. Come on there, chat rubbish. Simple. Go and suck your mother. So yeah, Julian de Ranville at Dortmund could be a cheap option for cover as well. I don't know. I mean, do Man United go for two right-footed left wingers? I don't know, man. I just don't know. I think he definitely is someone that has potential, but I just don't think he's going to be someone that Man United target. Anthony Gordon. Nah, do you know what, yeah? Anthony Gordon, for one, I'm not really a massive fan of Gordon. I think Gordon is Premier League proven, but I'm not a massive fan of him. But again, he's not going to... Man United can't get him out of Newcastle, you know, and the kind of money it will cost to get Gordon, you're probably looking at... If you're thinking that Isak went for 100-odd million, you know, Newcastle will probably ask for about 100 million at least, you know. And obviously, he's not worth that, but again, that's how much I think that they would be looking for. Notice Lemens stays rooted for shots outside the box, whereas De Gea got fingers to it. Seems to be an ongoing fault at the moment. Yeah, you know what? I've noticed that. And what I would say, yeah, is that I would like to see Lemens, you know, in front of a more confident defense, because under Amorim, yeah, this team was wide open. And again, you can't really blame too many keepers that come in a system like this. And this is why I know Andre Onana had his issues, yeah. But sometimes you had to feel sorry for Onana because this team was just wide open because of how Ruben Amorim wanted to play. So any goalkeeper coming in, you're going to be under pressure, you know. But there's been games where Lemens actually saved us, you know, and it's one of them things where he's made a very good start to his career. But yeah, I do agree that he is rooted to the spot a lot of the times, you know. But I think maybe with more experience, more confidence in front of him, you know, you might see him change his way. Who knows? Or whether that's an instruction from the goalkeeping coach, I don't know. But I think he's done very well so far, Lemens, man, and I'm happy with him. I'm happy with him. United need to get in Europa Conference League first, bro. Listen, I think you guys need to be winning a European Cup before you come and chat to us, man, because we've got a European pedigree. What's your excuse? You know, can't Cunha play left wing? He did at Wolves. Yeah, Cunha can play left wing, but the fact that they're targeting a left winger, I reckon they're targeting a left winger that's got pace, in my opinion. Because Cunha's more of a maverick when he plays out there and that wants to cut inside. So maybe they're looking at a player that wants to go on the outside. I don't know. But for me, I will definitely be bringing back... guys, bear me just 1 minute. Bear me just 1 minute. 1 minute. How you doing? Yeah, nice one, man. Yeah, nice one. Cool. Sorry, guys, man. Delivery. My bad. So, yeah. I think United are probably looking for a left winger that can go on the outside. You know, I mean, for me, I'll be bringing back Sancho. Because to have Sancho and Acuna out there as two left wingers and they can rotate as well, you know, I would love that. But again, the Sancho one, it looks unlikely at the moment. But it's just showing you guys, there's not too many out there. You know, there's not too many out there. I think Garnacho will be a top goal scorer next season. Nah, listen, let's not do that, man. And this is what I'm trying to say to you, yeah? Garnacho gets 2 goals yesterday, and all of a sudden, it's people jumping on the bandwagon with Garnacho. Like, Garnacho's not good enough. You know, he got 2 decent goals yesterday, but in isolation, he's not great. So let's just be realistic, you know. Big up to Babs One Diva. Yeah, guys, make sure we're smashing the likes. Make sure we're subbing to the channel if we are new in there. I just recently reached 1.9k, guys. So obviously on the road to 2k. So again, if you haven't subbed to the channel, make sure you sub to the channel and make sure you you smash the like button as well. What do you think of Morgan Rogers? I think Morgan Rogers is a top player, man. I've always rated Rogers. You know, for England, he should be starting in that number 10 for me. And again, he's a maverick, you know, in terms of the team set up to get the best out of a Morgan Rogers. And the way Unai Emery has found a spot for him on that left-hand side so he can pick up the ball and drive with it as well, it works perfectly for him. You know, there's times he can start off in the centre and start off from the left. But if you're thinking, can Man United get Morgan Rogers? No chance. He's just signed a new contract as well. But for me, yeah, he's definitely one of the best number 10s in the league, without doubt. But yeah, I rate him highly, man. I think he's a very good player. Yeah, Malero, but lacks pace. Maybe even Matoma though. Yeah, I don't want Matoma, man. Matoma's had a good career in this league, but he's not someone that I would like United to be buying, if I'm honest. And again, it just shows you, man, the issues that at left wing. There ain't too many left wingers that are affordable or are at a level where you can say, yeah, you know what, fair enough, man. That'll be a good signing. Big up to Mike Willie. Big up, my guy. Big up. Big up, man. I reckon we would have kept Sancho if he wasn't on higher wages. Bro, you know what, yeah? I'm still holding that hope, yeah, that Sancho comes back to the club, because the way that I'm looking at it, yeah, and again, we have to look at the fact that there ain't too many top-class left wingers in world football that are affordable, you know? And I'm looking at Sancho and I'm thinking, right, his contract's running down. If there's a slight hint that they can negotiate a new contract for him on lower wages, you know, the likes of Carrick, who hopefully might be part of the backroom team, or if he does well enough, you know, he might go and get another job. But I'm looking at the next manager that comes in, and the way that Ineos have, you know, gone for Carrick ahead of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. For me, I'm now looking at the kind of managers that they want to employ. I can only believe that they're going to be hiring managers or coaches that want to play possession-based football. And Sancho is a possession-based footballer. So I'm just looking at any glimmer of hope that Sancho can, you know, come back to the club, renegotiate a wage, and Man United keep a player that really and truly, you know, he's only 25 years of age and he's still got a lot of football left in him. You know, and I do believe that Sancho still has a lot to offer. You know, do I think Sancho's time in England is done? I don't think it is. I just think Sancho needs a manager that wants to play possession based and understands his game. So I'm hoping Man United, the next appointment after Carrick, is a possession based manager, and we can kind of, reintegrate Sancho back into the squad. Because again, we've gone through some of the left wingers, and there ain't no left wingers really. So yeah, man. Yeah, big up United fan, man. Big up, my guy. Big up, man. Big up. Appreciate it. Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman. Yeah, I think the Kingsley Coman boat has sailed. Again, it just shows you, man, like, there ain't too many options out there, man. I wouldn't take Kingsley Coman now, if I'm honest. Coman probably 3 or 4 years ago, but not now. Yeah, not now, man. Yeah, listen, big up to Fitz. I'm with that. I'm with that, man. The best option would be keep Sancho on less money and sign Nusra's backup. I'm with that all day long. I'm with that to the point, yeah, where could you imagine next season, Man United retain Sancho, go for a Nusa as like the next up and coming left winger, and then Bruno moves on. We get Cunha in the 10. Ahmad can play in the 10. And then you got Ahmad and Mbuemo from the right-hand side. And then if you want to bring through a Shea Lacey to play out there as well, all of a sudden, there's promise there. And then obviously if you've got the 2 strikers in Xerxes and Sesko, all of a sudden, I think that's positive going forward. Is it more of a fantasy though? That's the only problem, because a lot of the players that I would like, you just can't trust United to go and get them. If Man United retained Sancho, got a Nusa, got a Baleba, and then tried for a Wharton in the summer, I'd be looking at that thinking, you know what? Yeah, maybe a light switch with Man United. You know what I mean? But I think it's more fantasy, if anything. But we can all dream. I hear it, Gav. But will Sancho himself be willing to drop his wages? Everyone knows how Sancho is when it comes to wages. Yeah, but you know what I'd say though, yeah, Mike, yeah? I think a lot of the Sancho, you would say, drama around him, I think that's just the media. The media and, I think the media and a lot of fans, I think they're part of the problem as to how Jadon Sancho is perceived. Because we don't know that Sancho is just money hungry. At the end of the day, he signed a contract coming to Manchester United. He didn't force them to give him that contract. He signed a contract as the new up-and-coming youngster in world football. And quite simply, just like what Man United do with a lot of players, they've failed him. The number was a massive thing. When you come in as a up-and-coming player, and the big name signing, the best thing you should do is give them a number that they can look at and say that they've got the backing of the club. The fact he came in and took number 25, and then obviously Cavani had the 7, and when Ronaldo came in, he took the 7, and then all of a sudden they both leave. It's given to Mason Mount. That's where you have to realise that the club have failed him from the get-go. And as I said, like, I don't believe the whole thing about he just money hungry. I don't believe that. Because if I'm in Sancho's situation and I've been treated the way that the club have treated me, I'm trying to get my money too. And I think anyone with a brain would do the same thing. But for me, I'm just looking at the fact that, there could be a glimmer of hope that he could renegotiate a new contract for lower money. But again, he might look at it and think he's been disrespected by the club and, might just put a middle finger up to them and say, nah, listen, I'm going to stay where I am. And obviously go on a free. That's what he could be thinking. But who knows, man? Who knows? The downfall of United has been enjoyable for that last 12 to 13 years. Long may it continue. Signed 42-year-old City fan. Yeah, listen, man. I'm not going to hate on Man City, man. Like, at the end of the day, Man City, as we know, they run very well. They employ, the best of the best, you would say, in terms of management and in terms of the hierarchy. And the footballers they bring in, it's been a long kind of road for them. But they only sign the best of the best. And you can see that in the likes of a Ryan Cherky. So again, as a Man United fan, I'm frustrated, but I can't come on there and start slating Man City and start saying that, you know, they haven't deserved it, because they have. And this is where Man United, for me, I know people are going to start talking about the Glazers, etc., which are a massive problem. But until we get a manager, that, and again, people need to realize this, getting a manager that wants to play the best players, and play attacking, possession-based football, it goes a long way. I think if you get those two in place, the board and all these other things, they won't be so much of a problem. They're a problem in the sense of Man United winning Champions Leagues and stuff like that. But in terms of where we are right now, the main thing is getting a manager in that we can look at and say, you know what, I'm enjoying the football. The best players are playing. They're thriving in this system. And until that happens, it's just going to be on rotation, really. So the fact that they've signed Carrick, I don't think there ain't too many people that I've seen that are actually happy with the Carrick signing. There's a lot of, why was Amorim sacked? But the Carrick signing, man, is a massive signing, because for me, it shows a change in direction in terms of where the club wants to go. And hiring a Carrick, if you look at the player himself, a technical midfielder, one of Man United's best ever midfielders for me. The fact that you can hire him, and we can only believe that how he played, is how he wants his teams to play, and that means he's going to favour more the technical players. We can only be looking at the next appointment after Carrick as them continuing in that fashion. So, yeah, man, it's a good sign for me. I don't want Sancho, Gav. His attitude is awful. We don't need that at the club. But again, big up to United fan, man. Where are you getting this? His attitude is bad. This is what I want to know, because when people say this, yeah, unless you know the player personally, it's just getting it from the media or getting it from other fans that have never met the guy, And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, form your own opinion from what you're seeing, not from what people are telling you. Because why is it that Sancho has a bad attitude? Where's the evidence to say that he has a bad attitude? What, because he fell out with Eric Ten Hag? If I was in Sancho's position, I would have fallen out with Ten Hag as well, because Ten Hag called him out for no reason. And as a man, you have to stand on business and back your corner, and that's what he did. So if that's bad attitude, then I'm sorry, man, I don't agree with that. So I can understand people not like it. If people don't, even if people don't like him as a player, which I don't understand anyway, because if you know your football, man, Sancho's not a player that you just say isn't a good player. So, but if you like him for other reasons, other than the attitude side of it, then that's up to you. But whenever I hear people say he's got a bad attitude, it's that's just being rinsed and repeat off of other fans that have never met him, because we can just turn around and say to these people that you've got a bad attitude. You know what I mean? So it's nonsense, man. That would be ideal, Gav. But unfortunately, knowing our club over the last 10 years, we have no reason to believe they will get it right. I hear it. But what I would say, though, Fitz, yeah, is the fact that we've gone for Carrick rather than Solskjaer, because the club could have easily gone for Solskjaer, and it would have been a case for me where we're not learning. The fact they went for Carrick is showing me that could this be changing, And again, I'm not going to be like a negative fan and start saying, the board this, the board that, I think the board have done many things. Ineos have done many things, sacking Amorim too late, taking long over transfers, etc. Whatever people want to ridicule them for, but we need to give credit where credit's due. And the fact they went for a Carrick rather than Solskjaer is a massive positive for me. Massive positive, not just because Carrick could potentially get us into the Champions League places, but it's the coaching that I'm looking forward to. And as we know, Solskjaer's not a coach. So that's why it's a massive appointment for me, man. Gav, what about Sulemana from Atalanta? What, Kalmadin Sulemana from that used to be at Southampton? Yeah, again, he's another pace merchant. I don't really know where United are looking, but the fact that Ineos want to give him money to spend, we'll have to wait and see who he targets, you know. And again, as we know, it's going to be a club signing. It's going to be a player for the club, player for the club, and not necessarily a player that Carrick wants in, you know. So I'm interested to see who they actually go for, because I can't actually tell you a realistic option, which is why I keep saying just bring back Sancho, man, if you can, end of the season, or if it's a January signing, I can't actually tell you who they're gonna go for, you know. Solomon Kalou, you know. There are no direct pacey wingers in the market, let alone one you can get on loan. That's my point, Mike. That's my point, man. I just when I heard it today, the news that Carrick wants a left winger, I genuinely thinking to myself, who can Man United literally get in January that is realistic? And I don't think there's many players. There's just not many players, unfortunately. Clockenders is back. Wembley. We're the famous Arsenal, and we're going to Wembley. Boy, let's hope for your sake, man, because you know, to think that you guys played the strongest team against Chelsea, that were missing arguably three of their best players in Reece James, Caicedo, and Cole Palmer, and you guys scraped a 3-2. Boy, I hope for your sake, man, you go through, because I tell you this now, yeah, if Chelsea overturn that, there's problems for Arsenal. And again, those three players will all be back for the second leg. And again, there's only one goal in it. You know, Arsenal should have killed that tie off yesterday, especially the chance that Mikel Merino had. You know, so yeah, let's see what happens, man. But you guys are going to be in a whole world of pain, man, come that second leg, because I think Chelsea have got something for Arsenal in that second leg. You know, to score 2 goals against a team that had their best team out, and Chelsea didn't, you know, they're going to be going to that second leg in confidence, man, I'm telling you. So I'll be watching that for sure. United's midfield will be solid under Carrick. I mean, I think the one thing I would say with the players we've already got, you'd hope that Carrick, you know, instills a sort of, you know, what do they call it? What the bloody word now? You hope Carrick instills like a some organization, you know, and the kind of player Carrick was, you know, Carrick was someone that was, you know, very calm on the ball. I look at our midfielders that we've got, and the most calmest player on the ball is Kobbie Mainoo. But again, we've already heard Carrick say that he sees Kobbie as an attacker, yeah? And guys, I tell you this now, yeah? Don't be surprised if you see Kobbie Mainoo playing in a number 10. You know, I think people are looking at the fact that because Bruno's the captain and Bruno is held up by a lot of these fans, yeah? The fact that Carrick is saying he sees Kobbie as an attacker, yeah? There's only 2 positions he can play, the 10 or from the left. So don't be surprised if you see Kobbie, you know, popping in the number 10. Don't be surprised, I'm telling you. Gav, I'm watching Como versus Milan right now, and wow, Como plays some sick football. They are dominating AC Milan. You know what, Mike, yeah? I'm looking at Carrick, the kind of player he was, yeah? And this is where I go on to Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas, for me, he's a future... I'm going to go as far and say he's a future Spain manager. He's a future Spain manager. Club-wise, I think he could be on the same path as a Pep, a Luis Enrique, you know, an Unai Emery. I think he's got that trajectory because, I mean, who are Como? No, no one really heard of Como before Cesc went there, let's be honest, yeah? And I've seen a couple of games, and he's got a player called Nico Paz. And Nico Paz is a good player as well, obviously formerly of Real Madrid. And the way he's got them playing, like, it's not by accident. You know, the kind of player that Cesc was, you know, you can only imagine that he's going to go and do something sick in his career, man. So, and I think AC Milan are actually, I think they're second in the league right now. But, yeah, man, I rate Fabregas highly, man. There's no surprise why they're playing the kind of football they're playing, man. Like you got a top player when he was playing. Yeah, top player when he was playing. And again, he's a coach that you can tell he loves the game, man. So watch him from prison. Boy, big up, man. Big up for coming through, man. Big up for coming through. Hopefully this channel, man, will keep you keep the spirits up, man. But big up for coming on. Appreciate it. How you gonna ask man what prison? Come on. How you gonna ask a man what prison he was in? Come on. What are we doing here? Gav, I'm done some scouting. What about Ben Seguer? Only 30 mil, has 6 goals and 3 assists. Yeah, Ben Seguer is at he's at Bayer Leverkusen. So he only just went to Bayer Leverkusen. And the guys again, there's a player called Christian Kafane. I know you guys have heard of him. He plays for Cameroon. He played in AFCON. Man United were linked to Kafane before he went to Bayer Leverkusen. Because Kafane was playing in La Liga Segunda for Albacete. And Man United were actually linked to him before he actually went to Bayer Leverkusen. Because I actually done on my Next Gen 50, he was one of the players that I actually talked about. And he could be an up-and-coming striker for the future as well. I think he's only like 19 or 20. So he could be another one. But yeah, Ben Seguer I think is good, but I don't see us getting Ben Seguer. Again, I think Man United are looking for, I don't know if they're looking for a number 10 that plays out there, or are they looking for an actual wide man that's got pace? And this is the thing. Yeah, man, 100%. The Carrick appointment was a very good one. I get we can't get our top midfield targets, but the way the club keeps ignoring that position is a bit concerning. I hear it, but you know what I would say, yeah? Their top target is Man United's top target is obvious. It's Carlos Baleba. And Baleba must not be an affordable target in January. So they're gonna wait to the end of the season. So I don't think they're ignoring it. I just don't think United are just going to go and spend money on any midfielder. And I know that's going to be frustrating to a lot of fans. But guys, there's only one person to blame for this, and that's Ruben Amorim. Because Amorim decided to be the one that kept Bruno Fernandes, which is why you don't see any midfielders. So when I'm hearing, yeah, that Ineos are not backing Ruben Amorim for a midfielder, or they're not trying to get a midfielder in January, it's a direct result of Bruno Fernandes staying. And again, I said this at the time. I said that Bruno staying, you know, I don't want to hear no one say that Man United need to go and get a midfielder. You know, the one criticism I give to Ineos in terms of that is they should never have left it down to Ruben Amorim and Bruno Fernandes as to Bruno staying. But the fact that that happened is just nonsense in the first place. And the fact that we can't get a midfielder now is directly because of that. You know, and then when you're having Amorim trying to target Conor Gallagher, this is why he had to go along with what he was doing. So yeah. I mean, of course you want a midfielder, but I think the club's main midfielder target is Baleba. And I don't think Baleba is going to be able to go in January unless United offer serious money. You know, that's the way I'm looking at it. Yeah, big up Fitz, man. Exactly. That elite defense allowed Garnacho to score twice. Yeah, I've been hearing best defense in the world. I've been hearing, you know, quadruple this, quadruple that. And look at that. You're letting a shit player like Garnacho score 2, man. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Not going to lie, Rossini looks like he might do something with this Chelsea team. I don't rate him, but he sets his team up well. Do you know what? Yeah, I think Rossini... Do I think Chelsea should have hired Rossini? It's a hard one because Chelsea are known for being a club that wins, isn't it? And if you're bringing in a Liam Rossini, you know, it's more of a project in a sense. But the way Rossini talks, like, you know, I think he's got something that many people probably won't have realised. But I don't know if he does anything this season. I think I have to keep cautious. I think if he manages to turn around the second leg against Arsenal, then I'll have to start saying, do you know what? Maybe this could be an appointment that not many agreed with, but it's actually working out. So, but I think if he doesn't do well with Chelsea, I do think as a manager he's got longevity in the game because, you know, I've seen a couple of things from him that the way he talks, you know, how he talks about football, he knows what he's talking about, you know, and I think the only thing is him coming to a big club like Chelsea that, you know, are used to winning. It might be a step too far, too quick. But I'll tell you now, like if he turns around a second leg and gets Chelsea into the Champions League, then yeah, man, we'll have to wait and see, man. Guys, come on, make sure we're smashing the likes. We've got 11 of you watching, and there's 7 likes. Let's smash the like button, sub to the channel, and let's help the channel to grow, guys. As I said, just reached 1.9k a couple of days ago. So again, if you haven't subbed and you enjoy the channel, enjoy the content, then yeah, make sure you are subbing and make sure you share the channel as well. Yeah, I knew there's an excuse around the corner from Clockenders. So no Calafiori, no David Raya. Yeah, all right. Yeah, just can't win with some people, man. Yeah, listen, Carrick was a top player, man. He was. Raya in goal, they don't go in. Yeah, all right. One thing Carrick loves is control, and Bruno don't offer that. I'm sure he won't be scared to bench Bruno when necessary. And this is why, Mike, yeah, this is why I'm happy with the Carrick appointment. Because just looking at Carrick, the player, you know, as you said, he loves control, yeah? Bruno Fernandes will revert to type when he gets pressed. And what people need to realise as well, yeah? Bruno Fernandes in the number 10 position is screwed because he relies on runners, yeah? Because Bruno's not good in tight spaces, he relies on runners to release the ball. And the willing runner that he has in this team are the likes of Sesko, are the likes of Mbeumo, you know? So if Carrick is true to his word and the kind of player Carrick was, you know, because do I think Bruno starts against Man City? I do, you know, because I mean, I'm bored of watching Bruno Fernandes. You know, I want to see the club go in a different direction, and that means Bruno on the bench. And I would love Carrick to have Bruno on the bench and, you know, and start a new kind of wave of new players coming in and a new direction. But I think Bruno's going to play in his first game. But what I would say is that under Michael Carrick, I'd probably say Bruno might be on borrowed time. You know, because Carrick dropped him before, if anyone remembers. He actually dropped him before. So he could be on borrowed time. Because when he's saying he sees Kobe as a 10, I don't think that was a throwaway comment. I actually do think, you know, he's looking to play Kobe in the 10. And that's something that I didn't really see because I thought Kobe would be playing as a number 8. But if he's saying he sees Kobe further forward, you know, if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, if Kobe's playing further forward, he can only play in the 10 or play from the left. If you're playing a 4-3-3, that means it's a deep lying midfielder and then 2 box-to-box midfielders. So we'll have to wait and see, man. But I do think Carrick will yeah, well, I don't think Carrick will be scared to bench Bruno. And as I said, man, we need to be moving on this player for me, you know, because I'm just bored of watching Bruno Fernandes play every game. And if it's a case where Bruno comes off the bench or if he's starting and you bring him off, fair enough. But I don't want to see another manager, you know, or another coach play this guy 90 minutes week in, week out. Because it will show me that we haven't learned, you know. But let's see. I'll be honest, I think Bruno leaves in the summer. You can just see and feel that his time is up. Yeah, he's definitely going, man. He's definitely going. And as I said, man, we need to be moving on a player like that because I guarantee you this year, when Bruno goes, you're going to see better performances from the team. Because I don't think people deep how much of a setback he is for the team. Because when you've got a player that hogs everything and everything runs through him, that's never a good sign. And the thing is, you can only do that with elite players, the likes of Lionel Messi, the likes of Neymar, Ronaldinho back in his day, Eden Hazard, players of that quality. That is when the team should be running through you because they're that level. But Bruno Fernandes ain't that level. And the fact that, the team is built for him, is there any surprise why we've been shit for that long? It isn't just his fault, but he's a major part of that. Saliba is easily one of the best in the world. Boy, well, what's best in the world? I mean, what is he? Is he top 5? Because he's not. So yeah. Yeah, big up, man. If Nagelsmann gets appointed, Dallow's fucking bags get thrown out the first day. Yeah, Nagelsmann's not coming United. And again, why would Nagelsmann get rid of Dallo anyway? Why would Nagelsmann get rid of Dallo? I've not seen that one. But yeah, Nagelsmann's not coming to United. Man United for me, yeah, if I'm honest with you, the possibility after Carrick, yeah, the managers that are going to be available that I think United will go for, it's going to be, for me, it's going to be Roberto De Zerbi. Glasner. De Zerbi, Glasner. Xavi. And I want to say Luis Enrique, but I think Enrique goes to Man City when Pep's done. So I'm going to say De Zerbi, Glasner, or Xavi. I would love a Zidane, but I'm going to say Xavi, Glasner, or De Zerbi. I think any 3 of them, maybe an Iraola, or does Iraola go to a Tottenham? Who knows? But those 3 there, I think they'll be the 3 in the frame for Manchester United. I heard someone say the other day, Gareth Southgate, and it's like, I think people just need to screw their heads on. Man United are not going to hire Gareth Southgate. They're not. Why would Man United know the problems that have been happening with the last couple of managers like Ten Hag and Amorim, and then think it's a good idea to go and hire Gareth Southgate because Carrick's got a few members that have been part of Gareth Southgate's backroom stuff. Like, Man United are not hiring Gareth Southgate. Like, they're not going to do that. Like, it's not going to happen. They would know the backlash from the fans, for one. And it's like, Man United need to be getting back to the top. So why we hire Gareth Southgate? It makes no sense. So I'm not even going to entertain that, man. Man United sell for peanuts. Will Garnacho, Anthony, Rashford and Sancho even pay for Mbeumo and Cunha? I doubt it. I doubt it. Sancho for me never should have gone. Anthony I would have given a chance to as well. But obviously the fact that Mbeumo's came in more or less to replace him, there's no point him kind of being there. Garnacho's shit, so that's definitely sold him. And again, Rashford's had his time at United, so he probably he obviously needs a fresh start. So yeah, who knows, man. So when you said Bruno shouldn't play, I think he 100% should. He's the best creative spark in the team. Again, he's not. He's not the best creative spark in the team. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, people only think that because he plays week in, week out. Yeah, he's not even a creative player, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is not even a number 10. He's a player that can play in a number 10, but that doesn't mean he's a number 10. And when you put it this way, yeah, and I'll narrow it down like this, yeah. If you take Bruno off of all the set pieces, yeah, in terms of corners, free kicks and penalties, you will slowly realize that he's just an average player. I think people are getting confused because you've got a player that plays week in, week out, yeah, and a lot of his numbers are because he's on every kind of set piece. But you take that, if you take him off of all the set pieces, yeah, and you don't, and he's not playing 90 minutes week in, week out, you will realize just how average he is. You know, so it's probably better to look at that rather than saying he's the best creative spark in the team. Because if he's the best creative spark in the team, there's no wonder why we're shit. Again, Bruno's got the most assists in the league. I see it the other day. He's got 8. Yeah. Now, am I surprised he's got the most assists in the league? No. The guy takes every set piece, as I said. And I'll be interested. If anyone knows, guys, yeah, if anyone knows, let me know how many assists that Bruno has from set pieces. And then that will give you your answer. You know? Again, people don't want to tell you that people don't want to provide context to Bruno Fernandes. It's just, let's just throw in numbers or talk in our faces. But there's a reason why his numbers look the way they do. There's a reason for that. Guarantee you, if you took him off the set pieces, people won't be saying he's the best creative spark. You know what I mean? Come on, let's apply context. I reckon if Carrick doesn't stay, we either get Glasner or De Zerbi. Yeah, Carrick's not going to stay. Even if Carrick does well, Carrick to me seems humble enough to know that, you know, he's not going to stay. And again, there'll be other suitors for him. If you think of the amount of clubs that are going to need new managers, Carrick's going to be in the frame for that. So, yeah, I think he's definitely not staying. But for me, I'd love De Zerbi. And I'd love De Zerbi because I'm tired of Man United playing shit football. I just want to see good football. And De Zerbi would bring that. Xavi would bring that. Luis Enrique would bring that. But Enrique is unrealistic for me. So I would love a De Zerbi personally to come to the club. Tuchel is not going to come Man United again. I don't know. Like, Tuchel's not going to come Manchester United. Tuchel is another pragmatic manager. Man United don't need to be hiring pragmatic managers. I'm tired of that. So, and again, he's England manager, so I don't see that happening. Yeah, I don't want Conte either. Like, the Contes of this world, I don't want them. Like, they can't be coming to the club. Nagelsmann, I've not heard Nagelsmann's name mentioned, but Nagelsmann's not a manager that's going to come in either for me. Why do we rate other clubs' legends above our own? Why would Xavi or Zidane be better than Carrick or Van Nistelrooy? Yeah, big up to Cold Logic, man. I hear that. Again, what it is for me, yeah, and this is why I mentioned Carrick, yeah. So Xavi, Zidane, and Carrick. The reason why I want either one of them three, along with De Zerbi and that as well, is because I'm purely looking at the kind of players they were. Because generally, if you've got a top player, the kind of players that if they're a manager, the kind of players that they would play are the kind of players that I want to see in the team. So if I'm looking at Man United right now, I could only believe if a Carrick, a Xavi, or a Zidane was in charge, we're going to see Kobe playing. We're going to see Xerxes playing. We're going to see Ahmad playing. You know, the Lenny Yoros. You know, our younger players that are top talents. The Aiden Heavens. I can only believe that we're going to see that because the kind of players that them players are, you know, they're more technical players. And the fact that Carrick was hired, who's a technical player in his day as well, I can only be excited to see that. And the same for me would happen with Xavi and Zidane. Again, Van Nistelrooy's one's a bit different because he was a striker, and he was technical, Van Nistelrooy, but not to the level of a Xavi, Zidane, or a Michael Carrick. So again, it's not me rating the Xavis or Zidanes above them. I just think that Carrick or Van Nistelrooy, they're not going to be long-term Man United managers when you've got other managers like that out available. You know, and again, Carrick's taking the job knowing that he's happy to, you know, part ways with the club regardless, you know. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. If Pep doesn't leave, then we can get Enrique, but he seems the most unrealistic right now. Yeah, I think Enrique's going to Man City, man. I think it's all set up for him to go to Man City because, you know, this could be Pep's last season. I think if Pep wins the league, I think Pep might call it a day. I I think I want to see Pep manage Spain, if I'm honest, you know. So that could be his next port of call. And I think if that happens, it's all set. I mean, people might say Maresca, but I think it's all set up for Enrique. And you know what I think as well, yeah? I think Enrique or Maresca might be the next Real Madrid manager. I think one of them is going to be either Real Madrid or Man City manager. So I think it's one to look out for. Felix the Metro will be a good fit for Man United. Yeah, he's been linked with Man United before. Obviously, his brother used to play for Man City, Lucas the Metro, who's at Leeds now. So, but yeah, he'll be another good signing for midfield. But it depends what kind of midfielder Man United looking for. Because are Man United looking for a controller? Because I think that's what they need. They need a controller, and Nemecha's not a controller. Nemecha is more of a box-to-box midfielder. So it depends what Xavi or the club are looking for. But he's another good mention. What makes Xavi a proper coach? Again, if you haven't seen Xavi when he was at Al Sadd in Qatar, if you just see the way that his teams were playing, that will tell you all you need to know. And obviously, there's a thing out there called the coach's voice. I'm not sure if anyone's seen that. Yeah, the way Xavi talks about football. Again, the likes of Xavi, the likes of Fabregas as well. These guys are just proper football guys. You know what I mean? And these guys will have big careers. They will, because the way they speak about the game, the kind of players they were, they can only, you know, take that on another level. So again, look at what Xavi done with Barcelona. The fact that Hansi Flick is doing what he's doing now, Xavi started that because Xavi brought through Lamine Yamal. You know, Xavi gave Pedri the keys to Nou Camp. He brought through Gavi as well. You know, he brought through Pau Kabasi, Alejandro Balde. Like all the youngsters that have come through now, Mark Bernal, that was off the back of Xavi. So he can identify young talent and bring them into the first team, you know, and they can flourish. And if you look at half of Barcelona's youngsters that I just mentioned, they're all the majority of them are all key players for Barcelona right now. Yamal, Pedri. I know Pedri didn't come through the youth, but he gave Pedri, you know, the keys to be the main midfielder. Kabas is a starting centre-back. Balde's the starting left-back. You know, so Xavi's got pedigree, man, as a player and as a coach. And again, if you haven't seen what he was doing for Al Sadd in Qatar, I'll advise you guys to go and have a look, man. He's a top manager. Yeah, Irayola's another one. He's one that I'll be looking at as well. But I think because Bournemouth have been struggling as of late, I think there's other managers that have probably gone up higher in the pecking order. But I like Iraola, to be fair. I would like, for me, like my main one's always been Zidane, just for personal reasons, because the kind of player he was, and again the respect he will command. But in terms of managers, I wouldn't mind at United. Iraola, De Zerbi, Glasner, Xavi, Zidane, Enrique. You know, any one of them I'll be happy with. But the Contes, who else there? I mean, I like Nagelsmann, but I don't think Nagelsmann's realistic. But the Contes and the Tuchels, I don't want them guys. I don't want no pragmatic managers. You know, Gav, if we go for a left winger in the summer, who would you like? I've watched Diamande. He's a proper baller, but he's still young and needs to develop parts of his game. And Leipzig want 100 million. Yeah, big up, man. You know what I would say, yeah? I don't really want too many of these pace merchants that are just head down runners. I can't stand them, you know. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. This is why, because I don't believe you need to have a pace merchant winger on either side. I don't believe you have to. I just think you need to have smart players in the sense of having players like, you know, that have good ball manipulation, that can link with a striker as well, you know, and that can come in field or go on the outside if they need be, if need be. So the Andy Amande, I've seen him a couple of times, and for me, he's very much similar in the mold, you know, of your Rashfords, you know, very direct. And I'm sick and tired of seeing them players at Man United. You know, this is why I'd love Sancho to come back. But if they're asking for 100 million, and again, we've heard that he wants to go to Liverpool anyway. If they're asking for 100 million, just stay well clear of that. But for me personally, it just shows you the market out there for left wingers, even for strikers. There's no market for them really. I think Noosa's a very good player. I prefer Noosa personally to Diamande, but yeah, if it's 100 million, and again we're hearing he wants to go to Liverpool anyway, yeah, you just stay well clear of it. But yeah, man, who knows? Who knows? But I would like Man United to personally bring back Sancho if I'm honest. But if not, then I just don't know who we're gonna go for. Because as I said, there's not really players out there, man. Yeah, we played so well without Bruno against Villa. That was the first time I've seen us actually control a game of football. Yeah, but it's not really hard, is it, really? I mean, as I said, when you take out a player like Bruno Fernandes, you know, it's people might look at it and think you're gonna lose his numbers. But again, is this team about Bruno Fernandes or is it about the team? It can't be about Bruno Fernandes. And the fact that team look more compact, they look more organized. It's not really like surprising because again, when you've got a player, and especially under Ruben Amorim and Ten Hag, they just allowed him to go and do whatever he wants. Any top manager is not going to allow Bruno Fernandes to go and play the way he does. And this is why, you know, the way Carrick sees the game, I very much doubt Carrick will allow Bruno to go and do whatever he wants. And the next manager coming in, if Bruno happens to stay, is not going to allow that either. Bruno has to fit into a system or fit into the philosophy, not go and just step onto that pitch at Old Trafford and go and do whatever he wants, because that's going to take its toll eventually. Yeah, Zidane, I want Zidane 100%. Yeah, Xavi, I hear it, the lack of Premier League experience, I hear that. And I think the reason why a lot of fans don't want Xavi is because, and you can't really blame them, it's because they've been burnt too many times with the likes of Ten Hag and now Ruben Amorim. So I can see why they want someone that has Premier League experience. I think if you want someone that plays good football and Premier League experience, then the Zerbi ticks all the boxes. So this is why I think he's the front runner. And let's not forget, he's a favourite of Jason Wilcox as well. So that's something that we need to be aware of. And yeah, I'll be happy with Man United got the Zerbi, I'll be honest. Gav, who would you personally start between Mbuemo and Ahmad? So again, my preferred formation is the 4-2-3-1. And I would love to see a team of Lamens in goal, Mazraoui right back, Dorgu left back, Lenny Yoro and Matthias de Ligt, the captain, or Casemiro, the captain, at the back, Casemiro and Kobe in the midfield, Ahmad in the 10, Mbuemo on the right, Cunha on the left, and then Xerxes as the striker. I would love to see that team because I think that team, would do well. I'd love to see that team get given 5 games and see. And then obviously you've got players on the bench that can come off the bench and make an impact as well. But if you're asking me who would I start between Mbuemo and Ahmad, I think a lot of it depends on. It might depend on, because Mbuemo offers numbers, but Ahmad offers assurances on the ball. He offers a more technical game. So for me, when you've got top players like Ahmad, they have to play, but it depends. I think a lot of it would depend on the teams you're playing against. If you're playing against, a low block, you need someone like an Ahmad, someone that's very comfortable on the ball, that can open up defenses. But if you're playing against a team, that are trying to press you and you need pace in behind, then that's where Mbuemo probably comes into it because, again, he scores goals and he's got pace. So it's very much based on teams you're playing against and how, the manager would want to go. But me personally, if you want to get both of them in the team, then a 4-2-3-1, Ahmad in the 10 is what needs to happen. So we'll have to wait and see what Carrick's got up his sleeves, man, for me, Yeah, listen, Enrique managed Barcelona. Of course he did. Yeah. Yeah, man, of course he did. Yeah, I don't think Enrique goes to Madrid purely because of the Barcelona connection. I think Maresca might be in the frame. I know there was talk about Jurgen Klopp, but I don't see Jurgen Klopp going there. But I think Maresca might be one of the names. And then I'm trying to think other than Maresca, I can't really think. But yeah, I can't. Maybe Nagelsmann, but again, Nagelsmann might be too close to a Xabi Alonso. I don't know, like a hipster kind of manager. But I don't really know, man. Maybe they might call Zidane back. Who knows? Or Ancelotti back. I just don't know. But I can't see Enrique going to Madrid. I can't see it. Glossy Pom Pom says go after Elliot Anderson or Walton. Yeah, Baleba needs to be the first choice, and then after that, for me, I would love Adam Walton, but I mean because Walton's left-footed like Baleba, for balance, do you go for an Anderson? But I'll be honest with you, man. If Man United could have a midfield of Kobe, Baleba, Adam Walton, and then you bring through a youngster, and then you got the experience of Casemiro as well. If he does stay, then listen, man, it's good news, man. Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, again, Mbappe. Yep, forgot about that. It's like how Cruyff laid the table for Pep. Yep, I agree. I agree. Yeah, Nico Paz is a good player, but the only reason I don't know if Paz goes back there because if you've got Arda Güler that can't even get regular game time, who plays in the 10, and then they've got for some reason they want to keep playing this Bellingham guy, then I don't see where Paz fits in. I think if they was to offload Bellingham and bring in Paz, and you got Paz and you got Arda Güler batting it out for number 10, then that could be an option. But I just don't know, man, to be honest. Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up in about a couple of minutes. Just go through some more of your questions and comments. Again, make sure you're smashing the like button and make sure you sub to the channel as well. Zidane will never, ever coach in the Premier League. You don't know that. But, again, that's just an opinion. I'm with you, Gav. The best wingers are those who are like Sancho and Grealish, not pacey, but very good with their feet. Bro, these players are slept on. We're in an era now where people just care about numbers. And, if people are thinking Sancho and Grealish are going to hit like 20 or 30 goals, they're never going to do that. And it's about understanding, having number 10s from out wide, which is where the game's gone now. You got wide forwards, like strikers from out wide, like a Mo Salah. Or you have actual wingers out there, the likes of like a Harvey Barnes, for instance, or an Anthony Gordon. So there's different profiles of wide players, but people try to compare Sancho and Grealish to players that they're nothing like. As I said, you get number 10s from out wides, or you get hybrids, or you get strikers from out wide, really, like a Mo Salah, or you get actual wingers. So unless people understand that, you're going to be expecting things from players that are not going to provide what you want because they ain't that kind of player. Yeah, listen, Neymar was a joke, man. Neymar was a joke. Criminally underrated for me and criminally not respected for me as well. I think if you love football, then you love Neymar because, what Neymar was doing, with the kind of stature that he's got, he had no right to be doing what he was doing. This is a guy that was picking up the ball from deep and just making opposition look stupid, And there's not too many players that can do that, Neymar, Hazard, Ronaldinho, Pogba, like Messi, players like that, man. Like they're few and far between, and yeah, man, he's a top player, Neymar. So Saving for Palestine says, I'm meeting the Man United players tomorrow. What should I say to Bruno? Say to Bruno to if he can leave. That would be a good start, man. Tell Bruno it's time to go. Yeah. Loving the chat, Gav. Keep up the good work. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. 2-1 Milan, yeah, against Como. Okay, I bet Rafael Leao scored. Yeah, but listen, you see Rafael Leao, yeah? Leao, in this era of football, he's not a wide man. Obviously, he started off as a striker, then went out wide. Now he's playing more as a striker. And if you look at his stature in this era of football, he's a forward, really. You would probably say. But when it comes for Portugal in the World Cup, if he gets chosen, I think he's going to be back out on the left hand side. So. Baleba needs to be 40 million max. Why? why should it be 40 million max? He's not going to go for 40 million, but why should it be 40 million max? You need to factor in, even though people think he's had a poor season, yeah, so far, you need to factor in his age, factor in the fact that Brighton don't sell their players for cheap. He's relatively Premier League proven as well. So again, he's not going to be 40 million. If he's 40 million, you go and sign him right now. But he's not going to go for 40 million. If Baleba was at United, we'll sell him for 10. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. But again, I would have to say, under this regime, I don't think we do. Like this regime, I mean, even if you're looking at the fact that we got, how much did we get for Garnacho? Was it 40 million? Like, that's daylight robbery there. So the fact that we got 40 million for Garnacho is showing me that we've kind of, we're kind of waking up in a sense. What channel is that on, the Como and AC Milan game on? Is it on BT Sport or TNT Sport? Let me check. Oh yeah, it's on TNT Sport. Let me try and get that now. Guys, did anyone watch the El Clasico between Real Madrid and Barcelona? Another stink fest for Jude Bellingham. How that guy played 90 minutes, yeah, and continues to play 90 minutes. Xabi Alonso should have been sacked for that alone, because I just don't get the hype with this player, man. He's one of the worst players, that is rated highly that I've ever seen. You know what I mean? The fact that he wears number 10 for England, and the fact that he's rated the way he is, yeah, football's just it's in a bad place, man, because I just don't understand it. Where's this game? Oh, here we go. Bellingham handles pressure very well. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? So what? You think he handles pressure? What's that got to do with him as a player then? Because as a player, he's one of the most overrated players I've ever seen. And guys, I'm not sure if you guys heard, yeah, but I heard some reports that Valverde is unhappy at playing right back for Real Madrid. And you know what? I knew that was going to happen because Valverde is adaptable. That's being used against him. Oh, good play. Unlucky. That's being used against him, yeah? But to think that, they've been playing Valverde right back to play Bellingham in midfield, if I'm Valverde, I'm handing a transfer request in, because that is a joke, But I heard some news about Valverde not happy at playing right back, And he's a better midfielder than Jude Bellingham, but yet he's playing right back for Bellingham. It's crazy. So he's not the one overrating himself. That's not his fault. It is. Is it? I'm not saying it's his fault. It's the fans' fault. It's fans that think he's at a level that he's not. So I don't blame Jude Bellingham. At the end of the day, he's just capitalizing on fans that really haven't really seen too much football. It's that simple. But if you rate Jude Bellingham highly, man, it's showing me really that you haven't really seen too much football, because, as I said, I've never seen a player rated so highly like him that is average. You know, is he better than Loftus-Cheek? He ain't better than Loftus-Cheek for me. Loftus-Cheek is a much better footballer than him. But the difference is Bellingham's got the PR over Loftus-Cheek. But he's not better than Loftus-Cheek. Nowhere near it better than him. Valverde is the complete midfielder. Such a talent. He's a top player, Valverde. He is. Top player. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Yeah. Xabi wasn't good enough, but some of these players are just down in tools. Downright poor this season. Yeah. Yeah, but again, man, I think we can't really be surprised, because Real Madrid have always been like that. Leao's gone off. Madrid have always been like that. You know, they're a team that have superstars, really. And if you're a manager that can't tap into the best players, you know, you're on borrowed time there, unfortunately. It's the way they're run, you know. But Xabi Alonso, man, what he should have done, you know, is... Because the fact that he fell out of Vinicius Jr., and Vinicius Jr., before Mbappe came, he was the go-to player. The fact that he fell out of Vinicius Jr., you know, he was basically on a hide into nothing, really. So, yeah, it's one of them things. But guys, listen up. We're going to wrap it up now anyway. Gav, any messages you want me to say to any United players I'm meeting tomorrow that are nice? Well, yeah, if you've got a message to give to them, yeah, tell Bruno Fernandes, GavGoesIn says it's time up. Yeah. If you see Mason Mount, tell Mason Mount, GavGoesIn says it's time's up. If you see Diogo Dalot, Manuel Ugarte, tell them GavGoesIn says time is up. And if you see Ahmad, you see Xerxes, you see Cunha, you know, you see Kobe, Lenny Yoro, Matthias de Ligt, Mazraoui, tell them GavGoesIn says keep your heads up. The good times are coming back. Yeah, that's my message, man. Yeah, Palestine, man. Promote the channel. GavGoesIn, man. Promote the channel. Promote the channel. Free content. Big up Fitz, man. Big up, my guy. Yeah, listen. Promote the channel, man. That'll be enough. If you want to add on the extra messages, then that's up to you, man. My guys, anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Big up yourselves each and every time for coming on. Make sure you smash the like button, and make sure you sub to the channel as well, and make sure you share the channel. Guys, I've also started a new playlist as well, so I'll be trying to upload every... I'm going to try and do 2 every other day if I can. So it's Players of the Past. So, yeah, big up Clockenders, man. Yeah, man, big up, my guy. This is why, man, if it gets a bit sticky for yourself with Arsenal, you know, and you wanna jump in the ring with me, let's go, man. Let's go. Nah, I'm only joking. But yeah, listen, guys, I started a new playlist, so it's Players of the Past. So any players that you guys can recommend, I've got a list to go through. The ones I done yesterday, a couple of days ago, you know, 2 of my favorite players, R9 and Ronaldinho. So yeah, make sure you guys go and give that a watch. You know, it's basically just going through the numbers, which I don't really care about, but it's good to give context to the numbers and just talking about the players and the impacts that they've had on me as well. So yeah, give that a watch. It's under the playlist of Greats of the Game. So yeah, if you get a chance to watch that, then yeah, go and have a look at that. And obviously, I'm going to be trying to do 2 players every other day. And as I said, yeah, it's good to remember these players, man, because I think a lot of these players are criminally slept on. because we're in an era now of numbers, and you know, if you actually see these guys' numbers, the numbers weren't anywhere near to what they're doing now. You know, if you look at R9, Erling Haaland's probably going to surpass R9 for numbers, the way he's going on, yeah? But there's no one that can tell me Erling Haaland's a better striker than R9. So, again, is it any error? So, yeah, it's just players of the past. So, I'm not going to go back to the Maradonas, the Pelés, the Van Basten, because that was before my time. But it's the errors of the, like, you know, the Bergkamps, like, you know, players like that. The Ronaldinhos, the Zidanes. Again, I've got a long list to go through. So again, if you guys have any players that I haven't put down and you want me to talk about, then yeah, let me know, man. And I'll get through it. But otherwise, as I said, guys, big up yourselves. I should be back tomorrow. Not sure what time. It might be an early one. We're gonna do the match preview, Man United versus Man City. So we're gonna go through potential lineups, you know, score predictions, and you know, what it's looking like under Carrick from games going forward. And then obviously next week we got the big game against Arsenal. As I said, I will be doing a live watch along with Fitz and with Owen as well from B2R Sports. And again, if you're an Arsenal fan and you want to jump on, make sure you let me know. So yeah, man. So yeah, listen, big up Palestine, man. If you want to mention it, big up. But yeah, promote the channel, man, if you can. That'll be a massive help. But otherwise, guys, big up to all the mods for coming through. Big up to all the newcomers as well. And as I said, I should be back tomorrow. If not early, then in the evening time. And yeah, make sure you guys come through and support the channel as always. But other than that, have a good evening, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.